Alright, as with all things co-op related, regardless of the category, make sure that the auto-grab feature is set to be off. Alright, so there are a few variations of swings that can be performed during the game depending on what the environment provides you. One of them is kind of like an anchor point swing. These are probably the most common type of swings you'll see throughout the run, whether playing solo or cooperatively. It involves lassoing onto an anchor point or a spot where you can tie a knot where you can see both the yarny colors mixed together. And you'll do this with the R2 button or whatever the corresponding button is, and you can kind of swing through normally. Swings are simple enough in theory, but can be tricky to pull off smoothly as timing of the swing release is very critical in determining where and how far the yarnies travel. Now there is a point at the end of chapter 7 in the rapid section where instead of like specific anchor points, you have those long kind of blue colored anchor strands. And this allows for lassoing and swinging from any point along these lines. So it changes up a little bit, but it's still the same idea. Alright, so the next type of swing is also pretty common throughout the run, and it's a partner swing. These swings occur when there is not an anchor point to lasso onto with R2 or whatever your corresponding button is. Instead, there will be some sort of platform usually where one yarny can stand and serve as an honorary anchor point while the other yarny drops down below to swing. Now, in order to stop the yarn from unraveling between both yarnies, each player, again, this is if autograb is turned off, needs to hold the grab connecting button, which is L2 for PlayStation or whatever it is for your corresponding button layout. While on the ground, and both holding L2, you cannot increase the yarn length between the two yarnies, but only decrease it if they walk towards each other. Conversely, while hanging in the air and holding L2, you can climb up and down, either decreasing or increasing the yarn length between the two yarnies. And when you want to swing and let go, you just let go of L2 and the yarny will fly off. Alright, so what do you get if you combine an anchor point swing with a partner swing? Well, we like to call these super swings. So in these instances, one yarny will lasso onto an anchor point with R2, then the second yarny will drop below and both players will hold L2. So there's an anchor point on top, a yarny in the middle, and a yarny at the bottom. This allows for you to swing with a much longer swing radius, which allows the possibility for beefier swings. Now, super swings allow for greater swing momentum, but at the cost of being a little bit more difficult to control. This is because basically the radius of a super swing is essentially composed of two separate swings with two different anchor points. There's the fixed anchor point that yarny A will swing around, but also yarny A serves as a moving anchor point for yarny B to swing around. This means that while the yarnies can work together to create a more powerful swing, there is also the chance of accidentally working against each other and eating up the swing momentum. For super swings to be effective, some teamwork and timing is definitely involved. While you can set up and execute these swings in various ways, the method we've personally become comfortable with is as follows. While merged, yarny A lassos onto a fixed anchor point with R2 and begins to swing in the direction that you ultimately want to travel. Now, instead of letting go like a normal swing, yarny A instead swings backward until about the 9 to 11 o'clock range. When yarny A gets to that position, yarny B will unmerge and travel out from yarny A, usually for a relatively small distance. This distance mainly depends on how much space you have below the yarnies in the swing radius area. The more space there is, the more you can come out, and vice versa. Now, as soon as yarny B comes out, both players need to hold L2 when the desired yarn length between them is reached so that this overall swing radius is kind of locked into place. Sometimes if yarny B comes out a bit after yarny A starts swinging downward, a bit of a whiplash effect can occur and help to generate even more swing speed, but the timing on this can be a bit tricky and it can sometimes eat some of yarny A's swing momentum, so be careful. Now that the double yarny swing arm is good to go, both yarnies swing through like you normally would. If the timing works out, the swing should look like a normal swing, and yarny B will release at whatever point is desired. As with any swing, if distance is desired, letting go at a lower point is probably your best bet. If height is required, then letting go at a higher point in the swing is the way to go. While you can do these super swings in solo as well as co-op, the thing that really elevates this trick's possibilities is having yarny A zoop immediately at the moment yarny B releases from the super swing, allowing all of that extra beefy swing momentum to be conserved. This allows for further or higher distances to be achieved upon release than you can otherwise obtained from doing regular one-yarny swings. Again, the zoop at the end of the swing needs to happen before the yarn between the yarnies reaches the max distance and eats all of that swing momentum. That's why we usually just try and zoop immediately after yarny B releases. This is what you'll see if you try and do super swings and solo runs. While you can cover great distances with one yarny, the other yarny will still unfortunately have to catch up and re-merge, so the practicality of super swings and solo runs at this point in time is pretty limited. While super swings offer some alternate movement options in the no major skips category, they can be far more useful in the RMS and any percent categories. Regardless of the category, the rapid section in Chapter 7 is one spot where super swings really shine, as there are no places to worry about going out of bounds, and there's plenty of points to swing from, with all of those blue anchor lines in the middle of the air. Since swinging is the fastest way to move around, super swings can be used at the end of long sections of swinging to fly over parts of the rapids where you would otherwise just be jumping or running or swimming. Plus, each yarny gets that extra double jump in the air, which can both be used while flying through the air to conserve the super swing momentum even further than normal. We definitely recommend the rapids as a fun place to go mess with super swings, as well as practice regular swings too.